everybody. Happy new week. Hope you're doing amazing. I have got one of my recently published authors, Pamela Salter, who is joining me today. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Natasa.
Oh, nice to have you today. And I'm so excited about our conversation about your book. You're based up in Brisbane. Is that
No,
right?
I'm in Harvey Bay, actually.
Harvey Bay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. See, this
yeah.
is what happens when you meet people online. You kind of go, I kind of know where they are, but like I still haven't met them in real life. Then you can anchor people into the different locations. I love it. Awesome. So from Harvey Bay, Pam Salter, also AKA Grandma Possibility.
Thank
I
you.
love that about you. I'm going to share your book cover on the screen here so everyone can see the book that you have just recently published. And what I'll do is I'll give your official introduction of who you are. So Pamela Salter, guys, is a proud baby boomer, grew up on a farm and has a real connection to the country lifestyle. She spent over 5 decades as a registered clinical nurse, working in almost every state in this country, dedicating her life to caring for others. Navigating retirement was challenging. She felt she had more to give, resulting in feeling lost and without purpose. However, 2 years ago, Pamela found her purpose in a semi-automated online business, resulting in her book, writing this book before it's too late, a heartfelt guide to navigating retirement transitions aimed at empowering retirees to embrace their later years with confidence. An avid reader, traveler, and health enthusiast, Pamela loves walking, yoga, and often considers herself a golf tragic. Her values center around family, health, and sharing wisdom and knowledge. With her casual yet enthusiastic approach, Pamela continues to inspire and support others in making the most of their retirement years. All right, Pam, that's amazing.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So tell me, where did the idea, tell me how it was born, how long had you been thinking about it, why, how you took the leap of faith? Because often that's the one thing that people, it holds them back. I think once they take that leap of faith, they will follow through. But tell me your version of it.
Yeah, so I think I've always had a book in me, and I didn't realize this until I was looking after my mother, and it was the later stages of her before she passed that I started writing another book, and which has been on the burner for a little while. But it wasn't until with this particular book, it wasn't until in October last year that I went to the first retreat I've ever been to in my life. And it was my brother had died earlier, and he was my best mate, and as I sat on the hill with one of a few other authors, Diane McKenrick, from those two sisters, that she said to me, "Why don't you write a book?" And I went, "Yes, let's do that." So that's when I come home, and I contacted you straight away,
Yeah.
and that's where the book was born. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, you came through, I think you did the November program, and
Yes.
then like you worked diligently to follow through all the steps. So you got, the book's been out a little while, hasn't it? A couple of
Yes,
months?
it has. I haven't done a launch. It's going to come out with my website that includes my business and the book, because they're very much intertwined together.
Everything's connected, but
Yeah.
which means it came out around April, and from November through to April to write and publish a book, you truly followed all the steps and listened, and you were actually an amazing student and
Thank
author
you.
to work with. So tell me a little bit about what's the book about, and some insights in terms of what people are gonna gain value from.
Okay, so the book's all about, I guess the one reason and the opening line of my book was I was watching a webinar for in my business, and the young girl that was speaking said, "I don't want to be 60 and old and crippled." And I went, "Oh, that really hit me." And I thought, age is not, I knew that age wasn't a barrier for me, because I don't consider myself, I'm a lot older than that, and I don't consider myself to be old. So, but that was the catalyst for actually writing the book. So it's by no, and I guess that's the reason why the first chapter in it is age is no barrier, because I don't believe that age defines who we are or what we do in life.
Yeah, yeah. So what's the mindset behind that? Because you hear other people go, I'm getting older, or like, it's not how it used to be and all that sort of stuff. So what is it like, what insights have you got? How do you have, because there's different mindsets and everything ultimately boils down to mindset, don't they?
Absolutely. And that's what this book is all about, because I grew up in the 50s, which was an era where, we were seen and not heard. School was a very regimented place for me. And then I started nursing at 16. I left the farm and went nursing
Wow.
at 16, and it was so regimental as well. So, it's about when I started writing the book, there was a lot of mindset that I had to learn. Like,
Mm,
am I worthy to do this? And, all of those things that go through your head, and it goes back to that childhood. And I'd already had 2 years of personal development. But when I started to write this book, I knew that this was my purpose. Like, this
yeah.
is what I wanted to do the rest of my life, is to, be able to help people through words and stories and
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
beautiful. So what are some of the other, strategies that, you've got to, where does the title come from? Before it's too late.
before is too late, well, I'll just show you my book
Yeah.
here, and you'll
Yeah.
see that there's a clock there, and what this clock represents is, this is our working life in here, and then the red part is what we have left. And people sometimes can get to retirement and think it's the end of their life, but it's actually the beginning of this wonderful phase of being able to do things that you want to do, like write a book. uh,
Yeah.
or begin something, something that you want to do in life. And one of
Mm,
my one of my mottos is, don't let anything stop you.
yeah.
And I
I
guess I've
was,
put that into the premise of the book.
yeah, I was sharing a quote that, or a saying that I've heard a few times now, but that people die at 30 and they get buried at 80. Have you heard that one?
Yes, I have. Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so the concept for what you're saying, and I actually I don't like the word retirement often, like it
No,
comes up with people that I work with and all that. And, there's a particular age that defines that that's when we should be retiring and all that kind of stuff. But often I think you need to continue on having a purpose or projects. And one of the things that drives us is contribution. That's what makes us happy.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that was like after my mum died, and I'd been a carer, I'd looked after people, and health was just such, it was very high on my values.
Yes.
And I felt like this void that I had, and it wasn't grief, because I knew that I'd given everything, those wonderful years, 2.5 years I had with my mum
Mm,
beside me. But it was this void, and I didn't know what it was until I realized I'd lost my purpose, because I thought, once mum passed, that's
mm,
it. I've got, no more caring to do.
yeah. That's
But yeah, so and I found my purpose in the beginning in my semi-automated business, which I still have.
yes.
But also the purpose to write this book, and all the thoughts and all the the different phases of my life I've put into this book with some guidance,
Mm-hmm.
but also with stories of how that happened.
You want to share one of those stories?
Yes, I think, well, I'll just go through some of the chapters that I've written. And, I started with age is no barrier, because this is where it all started, when someone said that 60 was old, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
And then I talked about passion, which is actually your purpose, and how, when we start off our life, we have or our working life, we have this passion for what we want to do. And as the years go past, that dims a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we retire, that sometimes that purpose is lost because your whole identity has been what you've done throughout your working life, and you get to that stage. But I wanted to find that passion again, and I did, particularly in this writing of this book, and like I said, with my business itself. So during that time, it was, I talk about self-sacrifice, and sometimes we give and give, but there is a difference between, it's like a more healthier approach to generosity that I want to talk about. It's not about saying, don't be that giver, because that's what my generation
Yeah.
is known for, is we give, grandma always gives, or but it's about a much healthier approach to the generosity that we still want to give, of course, that's our nature.
Yeah.
And then finding, the next part of the book goes into finding your voice. And that was something that was really difficult for me because, but just because of the age that I was dropped, the era that I was dropped into, we didn't talk about so much stuff. Like, I didn't really have anything to do with personal development until probably just after Mum died is when I really started to go, and that was in 2019, and I started looking at personal development and what that is, and how it can help you so much to, just live the life that you want to live.
Yeah. Give you so many tools, right?
Yeah, give you so many tools. Yeah, absolutely. So, I really have found my voice now, and that's, this book has, it's helped me so much to be able to have that confidence to be able to like sit and talk to you today, and and to give people some tools themselves to be able to do it.
You're doing
It talks
absolutely
about gratitude. My book talks about gratitude, and how that's not just a thank you, it's that feeling when you do something for someone, how. So we go into a little bit in depth into that. Darkness before the storm. We talk about, that theme's all about those unexpected challenges that come to us. And in retirement, like when I retired at 61, my husband and I traveled for 5 years, and we went back to our home and we renovated, and we thought, oh, let's go again. And then Mum got sick, and like, this is a real scenario in life, is, our parents are aging, and I always knew I was her carer, so I needed to be there for her. So it's just about how we face these challenges in such a positive way, that's healthy for us and healthy for the people around us. So
Yeah, I love that.
yeah.
And when you say finding, do you have some strategies that you can share of how someone goes about, finding their voice, or how to do retirement their way?
I guess it's, everybody's so unique. This is what I find in life. Like when I first started my business, it was a very much a younger generation that's out there doing what I do.
Yes.
And I needed to find my voice, but I needed to do it my way. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it the way that I saw on social media. And it wasn't actually until a few months ago when I saw somebody on your one of your as a guest speaker who talked about the website, and I thought, oh, this is my way. I can do this. This is how I can do both of these things that I really want to do, is because I've got another, I might have 1 or 2 more books in me. uh, but I also wanted to, do my business because it's about health as well. So I want that was my way of saying, retirement my way. I can do it my way. It's not everybody's way. Everybody, finds their own little purpose in life. And
Yes, and how they can add and contribute. I've read other books. I'm not sure who it was from, but recently, like, actually your best work is ahead of you.
yes,
Like that concept of, that, just because you finished your maybe 20, 30, 40-year career. And nowadays people are not having careers as long as that, are they?
no, they're not. No,
Oh,
like I was 50 plus years in nursing from
wow.
when I first started. And, that's a long time to have that. That's you. That's your whole identity. And then you get into to retirement, and you think, well, what do I do now? I want to be able to still give to people. And one of the ways that you can do that is to write a book.
Yeah, I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. And I love how it connects also to your existing business, because
business, yes.
it's like your business card on steroids, as we like to say. You know, have people from your community or the company that you're a part of, you know, have they sort of noticed and you know, and potential clients, you know, do you share it with
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes. Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah, and it's about I think one of the biggest things that people lack in retirement is connection, particularly people who've had a long career like me, because,
Yes,
we leave work and then,
we're all my friends.
we still are connecting with people, but, we, just to have that connection, and the online space that's available to us now is just, I was terrified of it. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know, how am I going to communicate when I'm not face to face? But,
Yeah.
there's so many
I
ways.
was very similar to you, even though I'm younger. You know, my business was very much offline, and I love that connection. And I did my retreats offline. But since we were pushed to be online, the last 4.5 years, I've developed so many relationships, friendships from all over the world and rural areas. And
Yeah,
I was the last person that was going to say this is going to work online. But you know, once when your back's up against the wall, I
yes,
believe that you do anything, you know, obviously to you either sink or swim, you know, and I always
yeah,
hope that
exactly.
the one that ends up swimming. So how do people look for opportunities? Like, you know, maybe like sometimes people can feel, well, I don't know, it's not coming to me, or is there some actions that someone can take in order to work out what is there? I mean, you said you went to personal development, and that's where you got some tools to re-spark passion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I'd advise people to do. And that comes through, like through most of the chapters in my book, is, use the tools that are out there, and mindset is so much a part of our life. And I didn't realize this till I'd retired.
All right. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
uh, but when I look back, it was, I can see that mindset of how it was at different stages of my life. So I just would advise people to go out there and, do some self-development, personal development, read some books, and, you'll find the tools that you have to be able to do what you want to do in life. And even if it's just volunteer, whatever it is that gives you a purpose, that, to me, the four things that are so important in life are health, wealth, wealth meaning abundance in life, um, purpose and connection. They're the things, that's the glues that
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 hold
bind
them-
us all together.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
completely agree with you. And I think there's so many resources. Books are definitely a place people can start, but also go to
absolutely.
some live experiences. There's a lot of even introductory free 2 or 3 day events that you can head along to, and you open up like you know, like the Matrix, where you take the red pill or the blue pill or whatever.
Yeah,
When I started, I was 33, I think, or 32, thereabouts. And you know, I learned that everything's my responsibility and all these things about 100% and limiting beliefs and all. And I was just like, oh, you know, it's like ignorance was bliss. But I
yes,
believe once you get through and understand yourself, you can knowledge is power, right? Know
absolutely.
what
Yeah,
triggers you and what where your weaknesses and strengths are, and how to take responsibility. Because a lot of people, what I find is point the finger, blame, play the victim,
yeah.
um, all of the things. You realize that hang on, actually everything is ultimately, you know, because
It's
of,
yeah.
yeah,
And I think people, when they leave work too, they think that, they're working, oh, well, not so much their working life's behind them, but what skills do they have? Like, what can I do? But whatever we've learned in our whole life is so transferable.
I
Like,
agree.
that I thought, even when I started writing this book, how can I write? I can't, come on, Diane. But, I knew those skills that I'd learnt during my nursing
Yeah,
career, were I could transfer those over responsibility. I was in charge of a ward, and I had staff under me, and I had to be the responsible one, but I
Yeah.
also had to have that, that real connection, so that
Yeah.
things to run smoothly. And so there's all those things that, we think we don't have those skills, but when you sit down and think about it, or somebody just, you might read a chapter in a book that points that out, or you might hear a podcast, or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. That
Looking for those little aha moments or the little gold nugget. Yeah.
absolutely, yes, yeah.
Beautiful. So talk to me about the process of you doing the book. Like, I want to know, how did you stay disciplined? Because yes, you came to the 3-day retreat last November, then the book's been out since April. And how was your experience going through it?
Oh, it was just wonderful, Nat. And I think during the retreat you said, and I hope I've got the right quote, that
Okay,
it's not about just writing the book, it's about the person you become
yeah,
writing that. And that was so true. Like, as I went through, and it was just a whole chapter, a whole thing of self-discovery itself, just
yes,
writing
yes.
the book. But the support that I had behind me, I've probably never been one to ask for a lot of help. So I did a lot of self-discovery during that, and it's just made it so much easier
And
to,
more enjoyable, right?
much more enjoyable. Yes. So
I always say to people, like, I'm so envious of you guys who get to go through a step-by-step process where you don't have to work things out.
yeah,
Because when I did my first book, I was like trial and error and
yeah,
making mistakes, and
yeah.
like, I didn't do that. I didn't go, and I actually didn't know people like me existed in this world. Uh,
Mm.
you probably became aware of it because of Diane, who had done her
Yes.
program,
Mm.
right? But I was like, I didn't know there was book coaches or mentors or people that can help you go through. I wish, and then that's why whenever you guys do it, I go, at least it's half the effort. You're still going to do the sweat equity of writing and being disciplined. So how did you say this? You typed your book, you didn't speak it out. Is that right?
That's right. I started to speak it out, but hadn't found my voice at that stage.
Yes. Yeah.
So I decided that no, I'll type it
Right.
out, and I'm like a 2 or 3 finger typist. I'm
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
not
my
a typist. So some long hours, and some of those things. One of the most wonderful things is that my husband, who I'd never asked for help, I've always been the one that did this and did that, and I said to him, there's just him and I said, look, there's going to be times I need to just be doing what I'm doing. And I said, I'm going to give you some chores to do. Like, he'd never made the bed before.
Yeah.
To this day, he still makes a bed.
Nice. Nice.
I just let him do that. He does the washing up. And it was just about sharing those things, and, just having those boundaries around. And I think that's important in all areas of our life,
Yeah.
as we have those boundaries around. And but also having that self-care too. Like, I wouldn't just wear myself down writing the book. I would go and have a massage, or I'd go and do things that were for me. I'd go and have my game of golf.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's about that self-care and bringing that all in. So, I guess, it was just something that I really wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I'm so
You
proud of
didn't.
myself that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you schedule stuff in? This is
absolutely.
you did. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to do. I always
yeah,
go,
sorry.
because I always say to people, block out 2 hours twice a week or 3 times a week. Treat them as if it's a paying client and just show up for yourself, because ultimately this turns into paying clients down the track.
Yes.
People are
Yeah.
buying a book, or you're growing your business behind it and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So that's good. Yeah, communicating the boundaries to your family
Yeah.
for a temporary period of time.
For a
I will
temporary
be
period.
engrossed in this project because I want to finish it and I want to get the
Yeah.
benefits from what
Yeah.
happens at the other side. Amazing, amazing. So let's share where people can buy the book, because you've got a website that's about to go live.
Yes.
And I'm going to share it on the screen. Let's have a look here. Here we go. It is Pamela J. Salter, all spelt normal. No funny spelling here, .com only, guys. And there's the book, as you can see here on the screen. And certainly the book is available on all your good online resellers like Amazon's, Barnes and Noble, and all those sort of places. Just literally look up the title, you know, before it's too late, Pamela Salter, and you will be able to get a copy of that. So, is there a favorite quote, Pam, that you?
I think one of them was from Yoko Ono, who said, people can be young at 18 and 90. Like there's no difference.
Yeah.
It's that concept of time that people don't understand. And, you know, we can be young at 18, we can be young at 90, we can be old at 18, and we can be old at 80. So, you know, that really stuck with me. And I think that was one of my favorite quotes throughout the book. And there's lots of quotes in my book that people can read through.
And now we are living longer, right?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
so,
Yeah.
you know, 60 is super young when you think, you know, people are living well up into their 80s. And,
Yes.
you know, in some.
Longevity is one of my passions. It's also been a real driver behind what I do. I have
I'm
some
curious.
longevity in my DNA, but I also,
Yeah.
it's more in here. Like I want to see my great grandchildren grow up, and
Yeah.
you know,
Maybe your
I
great,
don't
great, great
consider.
grandchildren.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What's your just final question, because I'm curious. What
Yeah.
is your exercise routine like? What do you do, and how often do you exercise? For how long? Just
Yep.
curious.
Yeah. I've always been a sports fanatic. I've played lots of sports over the years, so golf is one of my sports I do. But
Yes.
my daily routine, I walk every day.
Mhm.
I now have a dog,
Have
a
to walk
golden
every day.
retriever who keeps me as disciplined as I keep her.
Yes.
I also do yoga.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, one of the things that I want to do now is I want to start playing pickleball. And, you know, there's so much out there, but I do my yoga at home. COVID taught me that. There's so much online stuff, but yoga
Yes.
is one of the things that keeps the flexibility,
Yeah.
you know, the balance and all those things that are important when we get older.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And pickleball will definitely give you your cardio, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I climbed Mount Coolum 2 years ago, and it's a fairly big hill.
Yeah, I can
So
imagine.
I'm always up for a challenge, you know. I love to do something that's different. And yeah, certainly we
Mm.
uh you know, like I said, health is my one of my
Top
top
value.
priorities.
Probably number
Absolutely.
one, which should be everyone.
Probably, yeah,
If we
it
don't
is.
have our health, none of our other values can actually
Absolutely
be
not. No.
upheld. So
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
yep. It was
yep,
Monday, and one of my personal trainer has like a little thing, hashtag never miss a Monday, and it's my
yeah,
thing. No matter where I'm traveling in the world, it's a Monday, and because you start your week of exercise on a Monday, and I usually do strength training and some cardio, and you know some
yep,
shorter workouts, some longer ones, or whatever. I'm not into the long walks and all that sort of stuff. That's just
yep.
like, I do things everything fast, Pam.
Yeah, you do.
So it's like, yeah, let's go. Let's boom, 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 I'm done. So everyone has their own style, right? You say, do
They
your
do, yeah.
way. Do movement and meditation or mindfulness your
Absolute
way.
meditation, lots of meditation. I bring
Yeah,
that into meditation and gratitude. I bring that
yeah.
into every day of my life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful, wonderful. Well, guys, go and get Pam's book. It's she's a ball of energy. I don't see you as, someone who's older than me. I think you're so approachable, and well balanced, and
Yes.
that's because of all the work that you've also done on yourselves. So go to Pamela J. Salter and go and grab a copy of her book before it's too late. I'm just sharing it on the screen one more time. Take control of your life now to thrive in retirement. And as she explained to us earlier, the red part is your life beyond your, say, official career that might be between 20 and 60 or whatever it is, you know, and you know, what are you going to do with that? It's like, it's fun time now. You've
It
got
is
this
fun.
responsibility. So, and you can choose to do stuff for yourself. So have an awesome week, everybody. I'll see you next week with another published author who's going to share their story. But today, Pam, I really thank you for giving us your time, and I wish you every success, and hopefully we can do another interview. Well, you've already told me you've got a second book.
Yes.
You know, so maybe in the next one in 12 months will be, how's book 1 going, and what's, you know, we can go through book 2. All right, guys, have an awesome week.
Thanks
And
for
go out
that.
there, smash